Have you ever noticed how silence in a relationship feels louder than actual shouting? Someone doesn't reply. Someone goes quiet during an argument. Someone says, "I'm fine," but clearly looks like they're planning your emotional funeral. And suddenly, your brain turns into Sherlock Holmes mixed with a paranoid poet. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about why silence drives people crazy in relationships. And trust me, the psychology behind it is way deeper than "I just want communication." Let's break it down. Hook. Silence isn't empty. It's full of questions your mind will aggressively try to answer. That's why silence hurts more than harsh words, because your brain fills the blanks with worst-case scenarios. Reason number 1. Silence creates uncertainty, and the brain hates uncertainty. Humans don't fear silence. They fear what silence means. When someone goes quiet, your mind starts downloading thoughts like, are they upset? Are they losing interest? Did I say something wrong? Are they talking to someone else? Is this the beginning of the end? Your brain doesn't know what's happening, so it starts creating stories. And let's be honest, your brain rarely creates positive stories. It immediately jumps to emotional disaster mode. Reason number 2. Silence activates old wounds. If you've ever been ignored, abandoned, ghosted, or dismissed in the past, silence hits you differently. It's not "they're just quiet right now," it's your past trauma whispering. Remember when someone went silent and then left you? Remember how that silence turned into heartbreak? Remember how being ignored felt like rejection? Silence in the present reactivates pain from the past. You're not reacting to the silence, you're reacting to everything the silence reminds you of. Reason number 3. Humans are wired for connection. Your nervous system needs signals. A smile, a word, a touch, a text, a tone. These signals tell your brain you're safe. They're still here. Silence removes those signals. Your brain panics. It feels like disconnection, even if it's temporary. This is why even a simple good night text can make you feel secure, and the lack of one can make you spiral. Reason number 4. Silence feels like punishment. Growing up, many people experience the silent treatment, a form of emotional punishment where someone withdraws affection. So, in relationships today, silence can feel like "you upset me," "you disappointed me," "you're not worthy of my attention," "you're on your own." Even if the person isn't trying to punish you, your mind interprets quietness as emotional distance. Reason number 5. Silence kills clarity. Arguments don't destroy relationships. Unspoken feelings do. When someone is silent, you don't know what they're thinking, how they're feeling, what they want, whether they're staying, whether they're leaving. This lack of clarity makes your mind overwork itself trying to guess. And when the brain doesn't have answers, it invents them, usually the worst ones. Reason number 6. The mind is allergic to voids. Whenever there's an emotional gap, the mind automatically fills it, and it fills it with your deepest fears. Silence creates a blank space. Your imagination fills it with nightmares. That's why silence feels heavier than actual words. Words give direction. Silence gives confusion. Reason number 7. Silence creates emotional distance. When one person is quiet while the other person is anxious, the emotional gap between them grows. It feels like one person has shut the door. The other person is knocking outside, panicking. This imbalance is what drives people crazy because relationships need emotional reciprocity. Reason number 8. Silence feels like rejection even when it's not. Humans take silence personally. If someone doesn't respond, we assume they don't care, I'm not important, they're bored of me, they're losing interest. But sometimes people go silent because they're stressed, they're overwhelmed, they're tired, they need space, they don't know what to say, they communicate differently. Yet the mind always chooses the interpretation that hurts the most. Reason number 9. Silence disconnects emotional rhythm. Every relationship has a rhythm: the flow of messages, the tone, the pace, the connection. Silence disrupts that rhythm. It feels off. It feels unfamiliar. It feels like something changed. Humans get anxious when emotional patterns break suddenly. Reason number 10. Silence exposes hidden insecurities. Silence forces you to face thoughts you usually avoid, like, am I too much? Am I annoying? Am I not enough? Why do I care this much? What if they don't feel the same way? What if they leave? Silence makes your insecurities louder. It shows parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. That's why it's uncomfortable, not because of the other person's silence, but because of your inner noise. Reason number 11. Silence blocks emotional repair. When couples talk, they can explain, apologize, reassure, understand, reconnect. Silence blocks all of that. Nothing gets solved, nothing gets clarified, nothing gets healed. Silence freezes the emotional moment and makes the problem bigger. So what's the real truth? Silence drives people crazy because the mind hates uncertainty, old wounds get triggered, humans need connection signals, silence feels like rejection, insecurities get loud, emotional rhythm breaks. Clarity disappears, the imagination goes wild, communication stops, and fear fills the gaps. It's not the silence that hurts. It's the meaning behind the silence. But here's the twist. Silence can be peaceful when both people feel secure. Silence becomes chaos only when there's emotional fear. And once you understand why silence affects you so deeply, you also learn how to break the cycle. Talk openly, seek clarity, express your needs, communicate limits, understand each other's patterns, and most importantly, don't